over. We can be cross live now to Alexei Goncharenko. He is a Ukrainian member of parliament for the Odessa district in the south of the country. Alexei Goncharenko, we're delighted to have you on the show. Just talk to me about the cumulative effect of these Russian barrages, a very significant, massive one seen today across your country, but it's one of many in the past few months. What impact would you say they're having overall?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's more than 2 months of these attacks against power grid, against critical infrastructure, and certainly there is cumulative effect. And like me, now I am in Odessa and in my apartment, and there is no power here, no current, and it's for days already. Like then it's we have electricity 3-4 hours per day. It's the best what we have. So there are problems with running water in some big cities. Now in Kyiv, after today's attack, there is no heating in many houses, in many buildings. So yeah, there is a cumulative effect, and I can tell you, I don't know, to say the truth, any other European power system, which after more than 2 months of such brutal attacks is still operating. So it's quite a wonder and it's quite a miracle that Ukrainian power system is still operating. But for sure, the situation is getting worse and worse after all of these attacks. After every new attack, situation is getting worse.
I just want to ask you, Alexei, what impact you think it is having on morale, not just morale of civilians across your country who have to live with the reality of these bombardments, but also morale of your fighting forces on the front line. Because I'm very mindful that just yesterday, The Economist magazine published an interview with your Commander-in-Chief, Valery Zaluzhny, saying troops were well aware of how much their own families are suffering back home, and it is having an effect on morale. And he also described how he believes the Russians are massing a fresh force of up to 200,000 soldiers ready for new actions, new offensives in Ukraine in the new year. Is all of this making Ukrainians feel somewhat bleak about the future?
Definitely, that is a very difficult situation in the country. But we are not afraid of Putin. But for sure, there are a lot of concerns. And we clearly understand that Putin is not going to stop. And yes, he is not winning the war how he wanted, but he thinks that he has time, that he can wait for 2 years, if needed 1 year, so he can continue, he can destroy and destroy and destroy. And the only answer for this is quick delivery to Ukraine weaponry. Because if we would have weaponry that we received in May, June, if we would have it in March, we will finish everything in April. I can tell you this for sure. I was the first month in territorial defense defending Kyiv. I saw everything by my own eyes. But we didn't have, and so we didn't have with what to purchase them, when we're retreating from Kyiv. And now we need tanks, long-range missiles. Like Zaluzhny said yesterday, give us 300 tanks, 600 armored vehicles, 500 howitzers, and we will finish this war. We will liberate our country. We will restore international order.
But if I may, Mr. Goncharenko, winter is long and winter is bitter in Ukraine. Are you beginning to worry that your country may really struggle to get through this winter, given what Putin's strategy now clearly is?
We will survive this winter, no matter how brutal it will be. We will survive. But the question is, how more new refugees will run from the country to Europe? How more people will be killed? How much country will be more devastated? And if we will not have a quick victory over Putin, all types of crises that the whole planet has now, energy crisis, inflation, food crisis, refugee crisis, they will just worsen from day to day, certainly in Ukraine, but not only in Ukraine. So the only answer is quick victory. And it is absolutely possible with the courageous Ukrainian army and skillful Ukrainian generals and officers. The only thing we are lacking is a real heavy weaponry.
All right. Well, Alexei Goncharenko, we thank you very much for joining us live from Odessa.
Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed.